morning, please remain standing for the singing of our national anthem led by the DSU Concert Choir. Thank you. Please be seated. As president of Dakota State University, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the 130th Spring Commencement Ceremony. Congratulations to the class of 2014. You will be, in a few short moments, graduates of this fine university. You should be proud of your success and your achievements. I want to thank also the family and friends that have joined you here today to be part of this ceremony. Clearly, all of our graduates needed, and I am sure appreciated, the support you have given them to help reach this important goal in their lives. Let's hear it for the first time for the graduates 2014. Graduates, regardless of whether you start your career today and stay in that career until you retire, or you have many different jobs, I challenge you to keep learning. Lifelong learning is what will keep you young, able to pursue new endeavors, and be helpful to becoming the leaders of tomorrow that we all need. You have an advantage over many of your university counterparts who also graduate today in South Dakota and around the country. And what is that? 96% of you either already have a job in your field or are going on to graduate school. We call that the DSU advantage. Our graduates are so well trained by our faculty that everyone wants to hire them. That means you. Please remember, however, that life is a balance. It is a balance of the knowledge and skills you have learned inside the classroom with what you have learned outside the classroom, and I know many of you have heard me say that before. You have the knowledge and the skills to be successful in your career. Faculty have told us so, and that is why you are graduating with the degree that you have earned today. But employers want more than great knowledge and skills. They want soft or social skills that will make the difference in your career success. Employers want communication and listening skills. They want teamwork and problem-solving skills, and where needed, they want leadership skills. When you bring that extra set of skills to your workplace, you will really be successful. And often these skills are built through relationship development. I encourage you, actually I challenge you again, to build those relationships and learn from the many people as you can. Those learnings will never leave you and help you succeed. Congratulations again, 2014 class of Dakota State University. Go forth and take your rightful place in the world of work, and may you be as successful as you wish to be. I am pleased at this time that we have so many honored guests in the audience with us today and on the stage, including folks that you will meet shortly, our Board of Regents Representative Regent Kevin Schieffer, and our Alumni Association Vice President Arden Jones. We have a lot of work to do today, so let's get started with the festivities. First, let me introduce to you some folks in the audience that I want you to make sure that you know are here. Perhaps first and foremost is President Emeritus Jerry Thunheim and his wife Nancy. If you would stand, please, and be recognized. We have some community representatives as well. Jerry Lang. Jerry, make it. Okay. Mrs. Jean Tamarasan. Jean? John and Jolene Goman. Representative Scott Parsley and his wife Val. And even though I'm not supposed to do this, I do it every year, and she should be used to by now, my wife Mady. I've said this before, I'll pay for it later, it's worth it. Now my pleasure to introduce to you Student Senate President Elliot Bruckelman. Elliot has been our Student Senate President for 2 years, and he has been a force in the student government, serving on many college-wide committees besides his role as president and as a positive student advocate. Elliot earned an internship with Citibank in Sioux Falls this past summer and did such an outstanding job that the folks at Sioux Falls decided to hire him to work full-time. And I know his boss is in the audience somewhere, and I haven't had a chance to say, there he is. I haven't had a chance to say hello to him yet, but he's here, and so there's a little bit of extra pressure on Elliot today. Please join me in welcoming Elliot Bruckelman to the podium.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Borowski, for your kind words. You'll pay for that later as well. Well, as Dr. Borowski mentioned, I have had the privilege and the honor to be the student body president or Student Association Senate president for the past 2 years. And it is with very mixed emotions today that I say, for the very last time, on behalf of the students of Dakota State University, the Student Association Senate, and on behalf of the spring class of 2014, welcome. Welcome friends, family, friends of family, friends of friends, and the random family pets that have somehow made it inside. We are excited that you can share this day with us, and quite possibly wouldn't be here without you. So thank you. To the graduates, welcome to the first day of the rest of your lives. Today marks an important day. No more homework to turn in, no more tests to take, no more 8 a.m. classes or HBZ on the weekends, no more $7.70 an hour, and no more late nights at the library. The list goes on and on. New adventures are on the horizon. DSU has given you the tools and soon a shiny new diploma that will enable you to compete in today's ever-expanding workforce. It seems like people say things such as, today marks a new chapter in the book of life yet to be written, when referring to graduation. That's probably true, but your new chapter has a well-written prequel of classes and hard work. It's time. Time to make your mark on the world. Your degree will let you go wherever you want to go. Some of you might have jobs already lined up. Some of you have no clue what is going to happen next, and that's fine. When you figure it out and you persevere, you push forward, you will succeed. Along the way, we learned some valuable life lessons. That crash course in laundry our freshman year as Mom was getting in the car to leave, maybe. But our professors also taught us that as recent high school graduates, we did not, in fact, know everything. They challenged us, they inspired us, and they got us here, to this stage, today. These individuals sitting right in front of me have imparted on all graduates something more precious than cash or jewels. They have given you knowledge, and for that, we thank you. It wasn't easy, but you got us there. As you continue forward and use this gift to your advantage, remember your alma mater is here for you. You have a strong alumni association that will keep you in touch with your university. Our alumni are just as important in shaping the future of Dakota State as our students, and I hope to see each of you as DSU changes and evolves. We've got small school population, but big school heart. Wherever life takes you, DSU will be an integral part of it. But now, I am standing in the way of your shiny diploma, and I've sat on those bleachers several times before, and I know how quickly your gluteal muscles tend to lose sensation. So I'll close with a quick quote. I saw this quote etched onto a tractor seat in a tiny Montana town several years ago, with no author listed, but it has remained with me ever since. Will we turn, looking back at the broken image of who we were, on the journey to discover who we are? Go forth, and congratulations again.
Thank you, Elliot. I am particularly pleased and honored to welcome our speaker here today. Dave Barkerney received a BS degree cum laude from Dakota State College and an MBA from the University of South Dakota. He was recognized as one of the 27 most outstanding students to receive a degree during the first 100 years of operation of higher education in South Dakota. Dave is the chairman and chief executive officer of the Barkerney Group, a leading bipartisan government affairs consulting firm located in Washington, D.C. He has been with the firm and led it for nearly 20 years, over which time he has guided it and cultivated it into one of the largest independent lobbying firms in our nation's capital. Dave is a member of the DSU Foundation Board and is an ardent supporter of Dakota State University. He and his wife, Jill, make their home in Sioux Falls. Please join me welcoming Dave Barkerney.
Well, thank you. And I'd like to thank Dr. Borofsky for the introduction and for the invitation to say a few words today in support of this great graduating class. I'd like to echo what Dr. Borofsky just said, the comments about the quality of this graduating class. I'm kind of reminded that today graduations for me, it's always a little bit about like Scarecrow in the movie The Wizard of Oz. You feel smarter today somehow, so I hope you all do. All of us who have reason to care about this institution should recognize and thank Dr. Borofsky for his leadership. We're fortunate to have him to move Dakota State forward in so many important ways. I'd also like to acknowledge all of the other dignitaries that I share the dais with today, especially being with Regent Schieffer, a special treat to be together with him as we've known each other for probably 30 years. I apologize, I don't normally read speeches, but I'm on the clock today, so I'm going to read this. In thinking of the faculty, I'm reminded of my days here on campus as a student, as a member of the Student Senate, and Elliot as a student body president. I was fortunate to have so many great professors and many opportunities to interact with the faculty in ways that helped me learn not only in the classroom, but to understand how to be effective and be productive in society in general. And I'm reminded of my own Dakota State graduation day. There were fewer of us then. This is a great class. And as we were, as a class, preparing to march into the field house, one of my mentors, Dr. Ernie Teagarden, and those of you who knew Dr. Teagarden, he was quite an imposing figure. And I remember he put his big hand, that big paw on my shoulder, and he said, Mr. Barkerney, when you get to graduate school, would you do me one favor? And I said, sure, Dr. Teagarden, what's that? And with that twinkle in his eye, he said, go to class. So that was about 40 years ago, but I still thank Dr. Teagarden for his mentoring and the interest that he and the other faculty at Dakota State took in me and in my future. And I'm sure there are many, many examples of that represented in the field house today. So quickly, I might mention that I've given a lot of speeches in my life to many different groups, audiences. My wife Jill likes to say that I'm sometimes wrong, but never in doubt. So it shouldn't be hard for me to know what to say to all of you, but in reality I had some doubts about what I might be able to contribute in some small way to this celebration. So not to sound partisan, I thought it would be better to ask a couple of my friends in Washington that I work with and admire, both of whom have given many commencement addresses, what I should say. So I asked our Senator John Thune and the Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell what I should say. And John said, keep it short. And Senator McConnell said, talk to the parents, because the graduates they just want to get their diploma. They don't want to hear from you anyway. So I'll try to heed the advice of both. And in that vein, I'll borrow the story about a fourth grader who was assigned a book report on Socrates. So when the teacher asked him to do his report, he stood up and he said, Socrates lived a long time ago. He was very, very smart. He gave long speeches. His friends poisoned him. And my priest down at Holy Spirit in Sioux Falls, Father Morgan, he learned what he calls hominetrics, the art of sermons in Rome. And he says, Dave, you've got 7 minutes to hold an audience. So anyway, with that in mind, let me take a few very short minutes to offer some true words of encouragement to the graduates based on my journey that started much like yours. I haven't met most of you, but I think that with a few exceptions, we have a lot in common. I'm South Dakota born, raised in Woonsocket, population 750, more or less. 3 or 4 of our high school graduating class decided to go on to college. And that journey for me was 60 miles east on Highway 34, which was pretty daunting back in those days. And diversity was meeting kids from Sioux Falls or Watertown, not just kids from Artesian or Letcher or Wessington Springs. But Dakota State, and I might add Madison itself, with people like John Goman, was a place that I needed to come to. And it was exactly the place that I needed. And so many of my classmates needed, and what I expect most of you needed, to grow in confidence, shape life skills, develop the educational foundation to now graduate and become successful in your chosen profession and in society. And again, I remember when it came time to go to graduate school, and I was going to pursue my MBA. And Dr. Teagarden had it all worked out for me that I could attend Wharton Business School on a full scholarship. But I politely told him, I said, I can't do that. And he looked at me and I said, Dr. T, Wharton's in Pennsylvania. That's too far away. I'm going to apply at the University of South Dakota instead. And I did. So my point, and what I've learned, and what I want to share today is an important principle. Most of us have come from small towns, middle class, working families in rural America. But in my opinion, our success is grounded in the hard work and the core values that simply are learned better here than anywhere else. My wife's a city girl from Sioux Falls. She and I loaded up our U-Haul after our MBA, and we headed sight unseen to Washington, D.C. As Regent Schieffer will tell you, it's not a city for the faint-hearted. But I've learned in Washington and in every major urban center in the U.S., and in the Oval Office working for 2 presidents, and in dealing with clients that have ranged from Rupert Murdoch to Michael Dell to dozens and dozens of CEOs from every industry, that South Dakota and Midwestern values and our work ethic, combined with the education that you've received here at Dakota State, will put you on a level playing field, and it will even give you, I think, a leg up on the kids who come from Harvard or Yale or Stanford. The lessons you've learned at Dakota State and the work ethic your parents and your neighbors have taught you are what I call the great equalizer. So I would just say, don't ever back up. You're all ready for any challenge. Now, to avoid being poisoned for giving long speeches, let me continue, but I'd like to quickly share a few other thoughts. I credit many of these to another friend and mentor, Charlie Meacham. Not a household name, but at 83, he recently wrote a book, Who's That with Charlie? Lessons Learned and Friends I've Made Along the Way. It's a reflection of a wonderful life and a career that took him from a law firm to be CEO of a major broadcasting company, where he discovered and launched the careers and the cartoons of Hanna-Barbera, and you all remember Quick Draw McGraw and Yogi and Boo Boo. Well, that was Charlie. And then he became professional counselor to Arnold Palmer and the commissioner of the Ladies Professional Golf Association, the LPGA. And in helping Charlie think about and edit this book, we found that we shared many of the same values and the same views about life and success in business. And so perhaps graduates, when you leave today, remember the book, Who's That with Charlie? And Elliot, as maybe one last homework assignment from Dakota State, get Charlie's book and read it. I think it'll be very insightful. But here are the cliff notes. In my work and Charlie's, we both constantly reiterate that hope is not a strategy. So beginning on Monday of next week, start working on a plan for your career path, whatever that may be, and plan for your life. It doesn't need to be overly complicated, but develop a plan. I would encourage you to have faith in the future. My work with President Reagan was very formative, and I'll ask you to bear with me as I use a couple of his quotes to amplify my messages. And in one of President Reagan's most famous speeches, it was about the topic of having faith in the future. And he said, if we are free to dare, and we are, if we are free to give, and we are, then we are free to shape the future and have within our grasp all that we dream to dare. And Charlie and I share the opinion that the most important skill you can develop is to communicate effectively. I always ask and remind my coworkers that when I learn something or I have some information, I will say, who should know this? Information shared is very powerful. President Reagan had a plaque in the Oval Office. It read, "There's no limit to what you can accomplish. If you don't care, who gets the credit?" Have a defined value system. Take personal responsibility. My friend Arnold Palmer, in a recent television documentary, summed up his life by noting that he just tries to treat people the way that he'd like to be treated. It works. Investor Business Daily is one of the Bibles that I read every day. Each day they publish the 10 secrets to success. Number 10 is be honest and dependable, otherwise 1 through 9 won't matter. Arnold says appearance and manners still matter, and he's right. And in the same vein, punctuality remains important. Charlie reminds me that success comes from always returning your calls, your texts, and your emails. And finally, there's a very successful and honorable graduate of Dakota State, Miles Beacom. Miles has built his life and career around the principles of being involved and giving back. The latest example of Miles and Lisa is their gift to Dakota State for the Beacom Institute of Technology. Miles would say, start now, support your community and schools, find a passion that you can follow, and then endeavor to help others with your time, your talent, your treasures, and do it throughout your life. Okay, so enough platitudes from Dave and Charlie and Arnold and Miles. If you add up all of our years, we're collectively about 267 years old. If you throw in Ronald Reagan, we're about 367. But hopefully these are some basic principles that you can easily understand and refer back to. As DSU graduates, you can be very proud of your accomplishments. Using digital platforms and the power of technology to protect the integrity of so many critical U.S. and worldwide industries, the safety and soundness of our financial systems, enhancing how our healthcare systems, medical research, and how the practice of medicine is being conducted in the 21st century are just a few of the amazing skills that all of you take with you in the days ahead. And again, Dr. Borowski is correct. The jobs are waiting for you. I've personally witnessed in all the work that's done now in advocacy and public policy in Washington, how rapidly it's migrating to digital platforms. For those of you who will become teachers and educators, you've chosen a special mission to help future generations learn, prepare for the future, and navigate the challenges that will carry us into the next century. So let me close by noting that this day is really about two important things. One is your personal achievements, and again, congratulations to all the graduates for the hard work and perseverance that has brought you to this commencement. And two, a recognition of the gifts and the sacrifices from your families, moms and dads, grandparents, brothers and sisters, and in some cases, a spouse, all supportive and impactful in helping you build and make this important journey possible. President Reagan said a lot of things, but I like this one too, that no institution is more vital than the American family. Everything we accomplish begins in those bedrock values parents have sought to impart: faith in God, honesty, caring for others, personal responsibility, and thrift and initiative. And I have no doubt that as DSU graduates, you've been taught well and carry with you the many great lessons and skills that you've learned during your time at Dakota State. So again, grads, these will be the great equalizers. In closing, I'm reminded of my many hours in Kennedy Hall as a speech major, learning about introductions, bodies, conclusions. So I hope I've done well by Dr. Van Diest and Professor Zerloin, who tried to teach me. Thank you for allowing me to share this special day with all of you.
Thank you very much, Dave, for sharing your thoughts with our graduates and families. Dakota State University is honored to count among its graduates and friends many outstanding leaders. And now I will call upon Dr. Judy Dittman, Vice President of Academic Affairs at the university, to assist me in the presentation of our Distinguished Alumni Award and some other awards as well.
Good morning. The Distinguished Alumni Award is presented to persons whose dedication to their community, country, and their profession is an inspiration to Dakota State students and alumni. Today, Dakota State is pleased to honor Dr. Chad Kurtenbach as its Distinguished Alumnus of the Year. Dr. Kurtenbach is an orthopedic surgeon who specializes in sports medicine, the care of athletic injuries, and arthroscopic surgery. He received his medical degree from the University of Minnesota in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and completed his orthopedic surgery residency at Orlando Health in Orlando, Florida. He also completed an arthroscopic surgery sports medicine fellowship at TRIA Orthopedic Center in Minneapolis. In 2002, he received a Bachelor of Science in Biology for Information Systems from Dakota State University. Dr. Kurtenbach is the team physician for South Dakota State University as well as the Sioux Falls Skyforce. He has also served as the assistant team physician for the Minnesota Vikings, Minnesota Twins, Minnesota Timberwolves, and Minnesota Lynx. Dr. Kurtenbach is an outdoor enthusiast, and he finds that he enjoys hunting, fishing, boating, skiing, golfing, and playing basketball. As an avid sports fan, he looks forward to the start of the football and the basketball seasons each year. Unfortunately, Dr. Kurtenbach was unable to attend today's ceremony, and so we will accept the award on his behalf. So please, even though he's not here. Dakota State has a long heritage of providing outstanding education and producing successful graduates. Today, we are proud to recognize several of our graduates who crossed the stage some 50 years ago. At this time, we will take a moment to recognize graduates of the class of 1964. I ask Arden Jones, representing the DSU Alumni Association, to assist Dr. Borowski in presenting a very special diploma to our guest alumni. Members of the class of 1964, Cheryl Osted, Sioux Falls, South Dakota. David Barkmeyer from Minneapolis, Minnesota. James Doyle, Davenport, Iowa. Frank Ginther, Wentworth, South Dakota. Jean Lindahl, Morristown, Minnesota. Paul McAravey from Ponca City, Oklahoma. Donald Spies from Lincoln, Nebraska. and Al Weeman from Madison, South Dakota. Congratulations to this very special group of alumni. Next, I am pleased to introduce a musical selection from the DSU Concert Choir under the direction of Sandy Champion.
Thank you, Sandy and the choir, for that musical contribution to today's ceremony. At each commencement, it is a tradition to ask a member of the graduating class to present remarks. I am pleased to ask graduating senior John Neeson to come forward. And while John does that, let me tell you a little bit about him. John is from Britain, South Dakota, and he is an elementary education and special education major who has been involved in football, music, and CAC while at Dakota State University. He also served as a student ambassador. John recently accepted a 6th grade teaching position with football and wrestling coaching duties at DC West Community Schools near Omaha, Nebraska, where he will move after getting married this summer. And before I give the podium to John, because I want to make him a little uncomfortable before he steps up in front of all of you, I have to tell you that I've met a lot of people in my rather long career in education. And there are very few people who have the kind of talent that this young man does and the kind of passion for what he's about to do, which is to teach other people what he has learned over the years. Please join me in welcoming John Neeson to the stage.
It's kind of nice not to have to lower the mic too far. So. Thank you, Dr. Borowski. It is a true pleasure to be here today, a tremendous honor. I was kind of concerned when he first asked me to be the speaker today because I was wondering what happened to the first 5 or 10 choices. But I'm really glad to be here and glad to see the field house is full. It's kind of a nice change of pace from what sometimes we see here at DSU. It's a day full of celebration and accomplishment. I'm already feeling accomplished because I made it here safely on Highway 34, and I'm glad to be here with you folks today. So thank you for coming. Thank you for having us. And we'll get started. Dr. Borowski told me to keep it under 2 hours, so we'll see what we can come up with here. The writing of the speech, he said you can talk about whatever you want to, and I thought a little direction would be kind of nice. What to put in there? What could I possibly give to all you folks that you could take out of here? And so I looked back on commencement speeches that I had previously heard, and I found a lot of inspiration there. Do you know what I took away from all the previous commencement speeches? Not a darn thing. So I thought, even if this is a tremendous train wreck, if nothing else, at least it'll be memorable. So I could hang my hat on that and take solace there. I had this beautiful, eloquent speech all written out, and I was going to present it. And on about Wednesday night, I thought, I'm not that type of guy. I typically speak from the heart, and so I scrapped it, and I compromised, a little organized today with an outline, so I'm going to cover some certain things, and so we're going to get going with that. I was talking to a middle school science teacher in Chester the other day, and he had some great words of wisdom. He said, John, a good speech is like a spring dress. I said, a spring dress? He said, yeah, it's pretty short and it covers the important parts. So, I wanted to start the speech off by talking about failure. It's kind of quizzical, I know, on a day full of accomplishment and celebration to talk about the concept of failure. But it's something that we, especially in Midwestern South Dakota, aren't typically very acquainted with. You think about it, our education system has transformed, and we've kind of held our hand through elementary school. Things that were accomplishment and that were above and beyond achievements a few short years ago, things that are considered achievement today were the standard a few short years ago. Everyone gets a participation medal, which is great. You want to make everyone feel a part of it. But I feel like at some point it's been devalued. And that's not the right approach to take with it. Education is a very important thing, and I commend all you graduates for getting through that big step. So I was going to talk about failure a little bit. We're going in a rapidly changing world, and on this day full of celebration, many of us have these underlying feelings of fear, concern, uncertainty about our future. And it's tough not to. I'm kind of feeling that talking in front of you folks today. But look forward to each day. There's tons of cliches out there. You know, I make a lot of sports analogies. You learn a lot more from a loss than you do from a win. So take those losses, take those failures. They are beneficial as learning experiences. They force you to break down to the essentials, and they force you to prioritize what's really important. So using failure as that tool in your days ahead is going to set you up for success. So now moving on to the more optimistic part of it. By choosing Dakota State, you folks have set yourself up for success. The first step to success starts here. We've had not one but two different presidents who you can't even find in their office because they're out on campus and interacting with the students, which is tremendous. I'm sure no other university in the country has that. We've got a 96% job placement rate. We've got a technology-infused education full of professors that care who you are. You're not just a number on the roster. They take roll by seeing your face, by talking to you, by having a personal greeting because they know who you are. You're not just a number on their roster, and that's something that we can really kind of hang our hat on here at Dakota State. We're well-rounded students here. We've got a tremendous music department, our athletics, and we've got the fastest kid in the entire country here at Dakota State, and Seth Buma. I mean, we've got a talent coming out of everywhere, and you can see in this graduating class they've done a variety of things and have excelled in about every area. And so you have set yourself up for that future success by choosing Dakota State University. I'm very proud of this college and very honored to speak in front of the distinguished alumni and all you fine folks today. Many of you have pushed through and persevered to this point, to this crossing of the threshold, to this graduation day through the loss of family members, through raising a family, working 3 jobs. You've gone through tremendous adversity to get to this point, and that is also going to set you up for a lot of success. And so I really commend all you other graduates on going through those same everyday struggles, because I feel like a lot of times college kids have this view in society of being lazy or something like that, and not having a lot on their plate, and people don't realize just exactly what you folks go through and what I've gone through as well. Moving forward, in the days ahead, I know a lot of us are ready to get out of college and start that job. I was talking to a young gentleman at a gas station the other day. He was probably in his early 30s, and he said, "Oh, you're graduating. It's all downhill from here." And I kind of thought, well, that's a little pessimistic. I said, I guess so, but I like to think the adventure is just beginning. Every day truly is an adventure. As an educator myself, I feel that learning is vital to growth, and once you stop learning, you discontinue growth as an individual. And so take each day as a learning experience. Learn from those failures, and just take everything you can out of it. We're finding out truer and truer every day that life truly is too short not to live every moment of it. And so I know it's been hammered with all the acronyms like YOLO and things like that. But seriously, stop and smell the roses once in a while, and once you get in that new job, I'm sure you've all got a tremendous work ethic that got you to this point, but take some time for your family and your friends, and make sure you realize what's important in your life as well. Also moving on, just be conscious of how you treat people. They've touched on the communication skills being very important. More so, not what you know, but who you know and how you carry yourself. So just keep that in mind. You'd be surprised at the things that you can accomplish just by using your manners and a firm handshake. So I will wrap it up here. I want to thank everyone for coming today. Can I also have the graduates stand for just a moment? I would like you guys to give a round of applause to everyone else here in the audience. Without this tremendous support system, all the family and friends and loved ones here today, we wouldn't be where we are. We wouldn't be getting to this stage. And a lot of times we don't even have time to take the opportunity to say thank you and to extend our gratitude to the extent that we would like to. So the family, the friends, people that couldn't be here and celebrate with us, people that are no longer with us, we truly thank you for all you've done for us and touched our lives. So, all right. Check the agenda here. I will turn it back over to Mr. Schieffer at the Board of Regents. Thank you for letting me speak today, and keep in mind, the most important person in a restaurant is the dishwasher.
Thanks, John. Before we get to Regent Schieffer, let me do a couple things that aren't quite on the program. The quality of education on any campus depends on the faculty. Dakota State University is particularly blessed to have a faculty who are recognized widely for their innovation, their willingness to take on new challenges, and their amazing dedication. And they are also a faculty who deeply care about their students. Each spring, we recognize 4 faculty selected by their peers for special recognition, and I'd like to introduce those 4 to you now. Ask each of them to stand, and if you would hold your applause until I am finished, that would be great. The Excellence in Teaching Ernest M. Teagarden Award, Dr. Pat Engebretson. The Merrill Hunter Award for Excellence in Research, Mr. Giles Timms. The Dwayne Morrick Award for Excellence in Service, Dr. John Nelson. And the Alexander Sandy Davidson Award for Excellence in Advising, Dr. Stacy Berry. Please join me in thanking these 4 for a great job. So a few weeks ago, in the last month, we've had about 49 dinners. And at one of those, one of our students spoke and said that also going to be a teacher. And one of the things he said to us was the thing he loves about Dakota State University is when he was a senior, just this year, he was walking down the sidewalk and a faculty member that he had not had in class for 3 years, since he was a freshman, walked by and said, "Hey, Jeff, how's it going?" Jeff looked at him and said, "You remember my name?" The faculty member kind of looked at him a little odd and said, "Well, yeah, of course I remember your name." It's just a minor indicative way of how our faculty relate to our students. So I would ask all our faculty to stand and be recognized for the great work they do with our students. Thank you. Now, we're getting close, I promise. I have one more thing I'd like to do. I started this last year, and there are really only, I believe, 2 people in the room who know about this. One of them is my wife. Last year I started the President's Award, and there really aren't a whole lot of criteria that I've written other than watching things over the year. And last year, we had 2 retirees who had been with us for a very long time who were the recipients. So this year, I decided to do something a little different. And this one's hard. And it's hard because I've watched this person grow. And I've only been here 2 years, so that tells you something. And I'm calling this the President's Award of Distinction. And I could just stand up here forever and talk about this individual, but I'm not going to do that because in part I recognize those benches. I've sat on those too. So I'm just going to tell you what this says, and then I'll tell you who it belongs to. It says, Dakota State University President's Award of Distinction for consistent advocacy for and leadership of students and for making Dakota State University a better place, May 2014, Elliot Bruckerman. Trust me, he had no idea. He's done a great job as a student senate leader and as someone who is not afraid to tell me if he thinks I'm wrong. And occasionally, once every 6 months, that I might be right at something. Degrees are authorized. We are now at that point, ladies and gentlemen, and graduates. Degrees are authorized by the South Dakota Board of Regents. Today, we are pleased to have Regent Kevin Schieffer participating in our ceremony for the official conferring of our degrees. Regent Schieffer, the faculty of Dakota State University have determined that these candidates comprising the 130th graduating class have or will complete all requirements for the degree indicated. I am pleased to concur in the recommendation of the faculty and present these candidates to the Board of Regents for the awarding of degrees. Regent Schieffer.
Thank you, Dr. Borofsky. Congratulations, graduates, and perhaps more importantly, congratulations, parents. I am here theoretically to confer authority upon Dr. Borofsky to award these degrees. Very honestly, that seems a little silly to me. The authority for these degrees, certainly the moral authority, the intellectual authority for these degrees, comes from the faculty of this institution and Dr. Borofsky and his administration that have done such an extraordinary job, particularly of late, bringing the reputation of this institution to the height it is today. And I can tell you on behalf of the Board of Regents, we are extraordinarily proud of this institution. And I'm honored to be here today to represent the board, which was created in our state's original constitution in 1889. And our mandate is to provide for quality, affordable higher education to educate and attract the best and brightest for South Dakota leadership. In reviewing the roles today and looking out at the audience and listening to the student speakers, I am highly confident that we are meeting our obligation in providing the quality education that we are supposed to help deliver. But in looking at the tuition rates, I'm less confident that we are meeting our obligation on the affordability aspect of that. One of the great challenges in higher education today is to get those costs under control. I am pleased to report that for the first time in recent memory, we were able to freeze tuition rates in 2014. I recognize that doesn't do too much for the 263 seniors who are graduating, but I wanted to offer that up for the one freshman and two sophomores I saw earlier today. And maybe more importantly, for some of the parents out there who have more to send our way. But for those of you graduating today who have paid the high price for the degree you are about to receive, I'd like to assure you that it is among the wisest investments you will ever make, and it is the best money you will ever spend. So long as you treat it and nourish it like the critical investment that it is. You don't just graduate today and enter the job market with exponentially higher earning power, which you certainly do. But you enter the world as a different person, a better thinker, a clearer thinker. You know better how to accumulate knowledge and to separate it from nonsense. You leave here not so much with a mind filled, but I hope you leave here with a mind that is exercised and conditioned in how to continue to fill it and how to learn so much more from all that awaits you. Don't let that get out of shape and don't lose that conditioning. The wisest among you know, or soon will know, that your life's formal education does not end today, it begins. The day you stop being hungry for more knowledge is the day that you start to slide backwards. Those of you who stay hungry will go very far, both in your professional careers and, I think, in achieving a genuine personal satisfaction of sorts, something the ancient Greeks called hegemonia. The degree is about more than making money. It is about living a life and examining a life as you live it, and understanding your place on this planet and in this universe. I am so glad that you were able to hear from Dave Bockerty today, who serves, I think, as a role model for all of you out there. He is one of South Dakota's great Horatio Alger success stories, and I am so pleased he is here today. South Dakota ethics South Dakota culture and South Dakota education, they really do give you real advantages in this world. And they certainly did to Dave. God knows it wasn't his looks. DSU has earned a great reputation in the country for both its core strengths and for its broader educational institutional goals. And as I look out in this class, I do so with great confidence that there are many other home run stories out there waiting to happen. You have the right base for it with the quality education you received here at DSU. Hard work and hunger to learn more will bring you the rest of the way. And I wish you great success in the exciting adventure ahead of you. So with that, President Borowski, it's terrible being the last person between you and your degrees. I commend you and the entire faculty for the outstanding work you have done in producing this superb class of 2014. So now, the magical words. By the authority vested in the Board of Regents for Higher Education by the state of South Dakota, I authorize Dr. David Borowski, President of Dakota State University, to award the degrees recommended. Thank you very much.
I now call upon several individuals to assist me with the awarding of the diplomas. I ask these individuals to rise and be recognized, and I ask that you hold your applause until everyone has been introduced. Dr. Judy Dittman, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Omar Elgayer, Dean of Graduate Studies and Research. Dr. Benjamin Jones, Dean, College of Arts and Sciences. Dr. Tom Halverson, Dean, College of Business and Information Systems. Dr. Gail Widow, Interim Dean, College of Education. Ms. Sandy Anderson, Registrar. Ms. Jennifer Mees, Graduate Programs Registrar. Our student marshals, Brandy Feldman and Austin Vogt. Also assisting with the graduate hooding this morning are Professor Doreen Bennett, Associate Professor Amit Dakor, Professor Mark Hawks, Assistant Professor Ashley Podrosky, and Associate Professor Ranwar Shan. Today we are especially pleased to present a doctoral diploma to a graduate of our Doctor of Science in Information Systems program. As you can tell, I've invited Judy Dittman to come to the podium. Judy?
It is my pleasure to invite Joy Fluker, candidate for the Doctorate of Science degree in Information Systems, and her faculty advisor, Dr. Amit Deokar, to please come forward. Joy completed a Bachelor of Science from Southern Illinois University in Edwardsville, a Master of Arts from Webster University, and a Master of Science from Kennesaw State University. Her dissertation is entitled, "The Impact of Unified Communications on Perceived Productivity Through Relationship Building in a Large Enterprise." Dr. Amit Deokar has served as her dissertation advisor and will assist in the hooding. Okay, we did that. I now ask Ms. Mees and Ms. Anderson to please bring the graduates forward to receive their diplomas.
Will the candidates for the master's level degrees at Dakota State please rise and come forward? Assisting with the hooding for the Master's in Health Informatics is Program Coordinator, Dr. Doreen Bennett. In the College of Business and Information Systems, Master of Science in Health Informatics, Joanne Smalls-Bernard. College of Business and Information Systems, Master of Science in Information Assurance, Miguel Farfan. Lakshmi Deepika Kataro. Nicholas Penny. Assisting with the hooding for the Masters in Information Systems is Dr. Wang Wang Shan. In the College of Business and Information Systems, Master of Science in Information Systems, Yahya Al-Abdulatif. Elliot Brukelman. Richard Callahan. Srikant Kanduri. Utam Nagazu. Travis J. Park. Sweta Pavaluri.
Weston Dawes. Alicia Ray Marie Derry Chavez. Latasha Andrea Dowell. Alicia R. Eggeberg, cum laude. Courtney Helen Hamlin, summa cum laude. Tyler Paul Heck. Michael Thomas Kappeman, magna cum laude. Lena Ray Schusnick. Kaylee Jo Lally. Thomas W. C. Mettler. Taylor A. Moscow. Paige W. Myron, cum laude. Kenneth G. Paskey. Megan J. Pfeiffer. Marissa Shigetomi. Jeffrey L. Trapp. Brian J. Bandy-Rosna, cum laude. Matthew John Weston. Megan Yellowboy, magna cum laude. Amy Marie Yost. For the College of Business and Information Systems, Bader Almu Farouche. Jeffrey Allen Amert. Landon Anger, cum laude. Mariah Bean. Joshua D. Blake, summa cum laude. Dylan S. Bolander, cum laude. Tyler A. Bauma, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Joshua C. Broughton, summa cum laude. Daryl C. Bunker, cum laude. Nicholas R. Carlson, summa cum laude. Mariah Kasut. James R. Davis. Joseph N. Richard J. Friesen. Zachary M. Fierce. Patrick W. Gilmore. Justin R. Gluck. Lori L. Harshbarger. Kelsey Jonathan Hart, magna cum laude. Kevin Habris. Bryce Haviland, summa cum laude. Michael Hunhoff, summa cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Daniel Jokums. Zachary Cantak. Zach Catcher. Dylan P. Kiley. Katarina A. Knock, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Tessa Lynn Cust, Center of Excellence graduate. Tanner R. Langbein. Keith M. Lepiski. Tanner E. Lone, Center of Excellence graduate. Colby T. Logan. Daniel Loudon. John Albert Lupke. Shannon L. McCluskey. Megan Mellon, cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Elizabeth Stadler, Center of Excellence graduate. Ross William Steinecke, cum laude. Paige L. Tevis. Zachary Gardner Truesdell. Andrew Vandermark. Trevor John Van Tilburg. Ty Vandervost. Michael Waldo. Cody M. Wellew, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Cody J. Wellfewer, magna cum laude. Charles Carson Williams. Joel Nicholas Wanuka, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Nathan J. Zilla. For the College of Education, Erin May Elwin. Ricky Ann Baxter. Aaron Binder. Alexis Bowman. Jessica Lynn Boss, magna cum laude. Lori Bunker, cum laude. Kimberly Burns, cum laude. Caitlin Alice Busser. Michael R. Crum. Cheristy Renee Davidston. Danielle Lee Demers. Allison Ann Droger. Morgan R. Esser. Lance M. Gunderson. Alicia Therese Hanish, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Greg Robert Herbst. Chelsea Marie Shaky. Blake Glenn Schlegel. Molly Ann Snyders. Stephanie Sweetland, magna cum laude. Jennifer A. Tandy. Brittany K. Tebby. Lacey Marie Veet, magna cum laude and Center of Excellence graduate. Cole Edward Wisenhunt, cum laude. For the interdisciplinary majors, Dana K. Huff. Now we have the candidates for the associate degrees from Dakota State University for the College of Arts and Sciences. Stephanie A. Barsness. Natasha Carlson. Prem Dulal. Emily Fetters with honor. Taylor Ann Wiseman Eatson. Erica A. Harsh with honor. Megan M. Hieronymus. Nicholas D. Kennedy. Ina Bay Nedesaw. Ryan J. Storvik. Brianna K. Welch. For the College of Business and Information Systems, Amanda Jo Elbers. Christopher R. Beatles. Hannah J. Bothwell. Carmen A. Davis. Dominic A. Grayson. Sarah Hockenberry. Cynthia Paulson with honor. Matthew S. Spizik with honor. And for our interdisciplinary majors, Carly Rose Hammer. Alex Paul Opsall.
Will all the graduates please rise? By the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon each of you the degrees to which you are entitled, with all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Members of the 130th graduating class, we are proud of your accomplishments. You may move your tassels, and I invite those in the audience to join me in applauding your success. Thank you. Please be seated. We are almost done, promise you. Now my pleasure to call upon Mr. Arden Jones, representing the Dakota State University Alumni Association, to welcome our graduates as alumni of the university.
Thank you, Dr. Borofsky. On behalf of the Dakota State University Alumni Association, I want to congratulate you on attaining your degrees. I can say where I was sitting, this is a great-looking bunch of graduates, I will tell you. With your graduation today, you become a member of our ever-growing Alumni Association, now numbering well over 12,000. The DSU Alumni Association can be a very valuable asset for you. You can use it to network, stay connected not only with your classmates, but with the entire DSU alumni family. This is my second opportunity to give the induction speech. My daughter graduated here, Carrie, she said a year and a half ago, so I got to do it then. When Carrie was here, I met one of her friends, Elliot, who I've been sitting next to, and Elliot's now going to be on the alumni board, and I'm really glad to have him. I said to him before I walked up here, I said I had a lot of nice things wrote in my speech about him, and everybody's been saying nice things about him. So I think I'll just skip past that. Congratulations, Elliot. No, Elliot's a great asset to the university, and we're glad to have him on the Alumni Association. I look forward to working with him. In conclusion, don't forget this university. Keep the alumni office informed as to what you're doing, and come back and visit. Make it to homecoming, come to a concert or a play, attend a sporting event. Just don't forget DSU. Again, congratulations, graduates. Welcome to the Alumni Association.
Thank you, Arden. My congratulations to the graduates on your accomplishments and my best wishes for your future endeavors. On behalf of the faculty, staff, and students of Dakota State University, I thank everyone for attending this commencement ceremony. We invite you to join your graduate and the faculty at the Dakota Prairie Playhouse right across the street for punch and coffee and cake in recognition of today's graduates. To conclude this commencement, we ask the entire audience rise and join in the singing of the alma mater led by the DSU choir, and the words are on the back of your program. Please remain standing for the recessional. Thank you for being here.